all the things. Hey guys, I felt compelled to make a quick message this morning. But the last 2.5 years has been really rough, I think, for everyone, and we all just keep trying to push through it. And I just wanted to say that all these things that we deal with now are typically created by ourselves, and I know a lot of us realize that, but we are all so concerned with so many of the things that are based upon the system itself. Like, how am I going to pay my next bill, or how am I going to do this or do that, when it relates to anything that's involved within the system. And that is a construct that we're all born into and forced to participate in until we figure it out. And then it's how do I not participate and still survive and have a happy life. And United States is pretty hard. Look at any person that rejects the system, and you see a homeless person that people reject, and they look at them like they're pieces of trash, and walk on the other side of the street. And so you are ostracized by society, and not to say that those individuals are righteous people or not righteous people. That's irrelevant. It's difficult. And something I wanted to share with you is that when you get into the spirit realm, all your accomplishments, all this and that, all of your gnosis or knowledge of what you've gained is all irrelevant. There's a council of elders, and there's different ones for different lives. When you come back, they all have these different talismans that they wear that are different aspects of you when you're up there. But I want to tell you, the most important things are the things that you thought were insignificant. And it's helping someone out, or having a conversation with someone that's down and out, going up to a stranger and being a helping hand, or doing an act of love. And whenever those types of actions occur, what you see in the spirit realm, when you get there and you're doing your life review, you see what your action ended up causing down the line. We don't understand how the timelines work, and how every action that we take can affect things for the positive or the negative. You're also going to see how your actions affected other people and what that chain reaction led to within those timelines. There is no judgment, but what they focus on there are all the times that you did things that maybe they were out of your character. Maybe it's it's really just being there for people, being kind, and you don't know how your actions are going to affect people. And I'll just give you one story of mine. When I was in college, one night I was coming home late for some parties, walking back into the dorm rooms, and there was a girl that was outside of the entrance, and she was just kind of standing there on the rails. And I just, all of a sudden, something came over me that said you needed to talk to her. So I did. And I sat out there for about 3 hours and talked to her. And we had some great conversations about this and that. And it wasn't until, after that, I felt good. She felt good. At the end of the conversation, I walk away and I go to bed. And it wasn't until years later probably 5-6 years later after college, after I'd already graduated. I'm in a Blockbuster video, or I think that's where it was, some kind of video store. And, and I know they don't exist anymore, right? It shows my age. But she walks up to me and she says, do you remember that night and that was the only time I ever talked to her in my entire life. Literally. I didn't even know her name. And she walks up to me and she says, do you remember that night that you talked to me? And I said, she's like, outside the dorm rooms, I had to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, hi, how are you? And she's like, I want you to know that I had already, I was planning on killing myself that night. And I had already written a letter. I had it all planned out. I was ready to go. And because of our conversation, I didn't do that. And she said, now I'm married. I have kids. She said, and if you hadn't have walked in there and walked up to me and started talking to me and we had that conversation, she said, I wouldn't have been here today. And, the feeling that at first I was kind of in shock, but that's how it works. That's how things work. And we can't see the future. We can't see, into the timelines of what's going to happen. But I want you to know that that's what you're, I don't even want to say judge. That's where the focus is when you go into the spirit realm. Doing something for no reason, not because you're going to gain something out of it, not because, it's going to make you feel better. It's all about doing something just out of love for no other reason than love. And I think if we focus a little bit more on that and instead of how awful so many different things in the world are today, maybe we can start to make a little progress in our smaller circles. Hope you have a blessed day. Namaste.